Can't you just smell it? Hear the crackle when you break it and just want to taste it? You've eaten sourdough by the slice, but today sourdough is making its way to dinner rolls. They've got the flavor that you love in a more personalized portion. Scott Hutchins is our fearless sourdough leader. Are you up to that challenge?
I'm ready.
He's fearless. He's here. Thumbs up. You are known and loved for your beautiful loaves of sourdough, but you say people don't realize you can get that same flavor and affect in a roll.
Yeah, a lot of people assume that the only thing you can do is make these beautiful loaves, but come those special occasions, you want a nice dinner roll, this same dough makes beautiful rolls. Same
dough?
Yep.
Okay, you're gonna walk us through this process, and you've held many a women's hands because people get freaked out about this.
They do. There's so much anxiety around sourdough bread.
The starter.
Yeah, just keeping that sourdough starter alive.
Yeah.
People act like it's another kid in their life, and they've got to quit their job, and they've got to, no more vacations because of the starter alone.
Right.
So part of my whole process is helping people understand it doesn't need to be difficult.
Yeah.
There's an easy way to do this and get on with your life.
Okay, take the vacation.
Yes.
Keep your job.
That's right.
Okay, so the starter, what do we need to know?
Well, first of all, this starter is the key to any of this bread, and you can't do any of it without it. And we don't use any of the instant yeast. It's all natural. And what a lot of people don't know, in order to make a good sourdough starter, all you need is flour and water. That's all that's in there is flour and water.
And time.
A lot of time.
A lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to make a starter, I'll just tell you quickly, all you do is you mix flour and water together, and you put a light lid on it, you leave it on your windowsill, and every 12 hours for the next week and a half, you simply dump half of it out and feed it with some fresh flour and water. And what happens is in your kitchen, and every kitchen is unique, there's natural wild yeast, there's enzymes, there's bacteria that's really healthy right in your kitchen.
It's a jungle.
It is a jungle.
It's a jungle in there.
And it lands on this, and it starts feasting on this flour and water concoction.
Yeah.
And the byproduct of all that eating is all this CO2 gas. And that's why it bubbles up. And you can see from my starter here, this is where I filled it up at this line, and this is all the growth. All of that is that gases that build up, and that's what gives the bread its beautiful rise.
I don't know why I start to get a little itchy when we talk about living
I know, but it's all
organisms. Yeah, I know. And I love the outcome. Okay, so we've got our starter going, and then what goes into the rolls? So
the rolls is exactly the same process as the bread. It's flour, water, and salt.
Salt.
And it's a little bit of starter.
That's it.
That's it. 3 of the most boring ingredients make the most incredible bread. So that's all it is. And what I show people how to do is how to mix those ingredients and to work out that dough. And after we work out the dough, it needs to rest and ferment for a little bit. And then we simply either make it a loaf or we turn it into some buns.
Will you show us how you shape those buns or those rolls?
Yes, it's really simple. So after the dough is rested, all I do is just by hand, I simply just kind of work the dough a little bit.
It's a sticky little friend.
It is. But I just kind of work it into a circle. You can see how sticky it is. But it starts to tighten up, and then I just lay it on a sheet like this. So just pinching the edges, pulling and pinching the edges.
And
what I do is after I fill this up, I'll let them rise for about 4 or 5 hours, and once they start touching like this is when I know that they're about ready to go into the oven.
Okay.
And so at this point, all I'm going to do is I do this just for decoration. You can see the rolls here.
They're pretty.
All I do is I just put a little flour on them, and I usually do half of them.
Okay.
And it's just for decoration. So I use a little shield here.
Oh, look at that.
And you don't have to do this, but I just like the look of it.
Just a little touch, yeah.
And then
you got to have a mark. Everyone has to make their mark. That's yours.
That's right.
Well, you have many marks you made. I'm not just limiting you to a dusting of flour.
So
is that flour?
Yep, it's just flour. And then right before they go in, I just do one quick little score on each one.
Is that decorative, or is there a baking purpose to that?
To the scoring?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a purpose for it. If I don't score these, what's going to happen, and typically with the bread too, it's the same reason why I make the big cuts. In the oven, they're going to spring. These are going to get much bigger, and they need an area to expand from. If I don't, they'll just crack. And so I need to tell the dough exactly where I want it to split and to rise from in the oven. So, and then these here, I know they don't look too impressive here, but what happens is they turn into these beautiful rolls.
Yeah.
But the secret to these rolls, the benefit of these rolls is not only are they incredible dinner rolls, but they're great sandwich rolls, and I'm telling you, they'll be your favorite breakfast sandwich roll too. Because they are better than any English muffin you'll ever have. And it's so simple. It's flour, water, and salt.
Sure. Which I think is part of the appeal, that it is so simple and the ingredients list is so basic, but something so beautiful and delicious can come out of that. Baking instructions, anything unique?
Yeah, well, you know, with the big loaves, we cook in those big Dutch ovens, right? With the rolls, all I do is cook it at about 420 degrees for about 30 minutes or so.
Okay.
I always tell people, just keep your eye on the oven, and when they're brown to your liking, take them out and enjoy. Yep.
Easy does it. I like your way. And you teach classes, you sell your bread online. You are the man. How can we get more from you?
Well, if you want to, you can follow me on Instagram at Scott's Bread.
Okay.
It's pretty simple, Scott's Bread. And I do sell bread, but really, of all the bread stuff I've been involved with, my favorite thing I do are these classes.
Yeah.
I get to go into people's homes all throughout the Wasatch Front and do these private group lessons, and they are so much fun for me. My wife and I do them together, and we have met some of the most amazing people. So
awesome.
We'd love to have anyone who's interested in a class, just send me a DM and we'll sign you up.
We'll link you over to his Instagram from our website. Moment of truth. Do you and your wife still eat sourdough for personal pleasure on the daily?
Absolutely. Not a day goes by where I don't at least sample my work. So.
Okay. I guess, yeah, benefit of the job.
That's right.
But you're still in love with it.
Love it.
That's awesome. Well, Scott, thank you for sharing. You have a gift, so we appreciate it.